Let's call this meeting of the Oskaloosa City Council to order. Today is April 7, 2014. Let's start with the invocation. Is Pastor Georgia McClure from Community of Christ Church here?
Awesome God, I am so very humbled at your grace and your mercy. And as we pray together tonight, it is with thanksgiving for the warmer weather, the sprouting flowers, and the newness that comes with spring. Lord God, I also give thanks for the freedom that you have given us, binding our personalities and our gifts, that we might be open to the ideas of others, mindful of the worth that all hear, and respect that you have given us. Through it all, Father God, I thank you for your Spirit here with us tonight, knowing that we can do things only through you. This is my prayer in the name of your beloved Son, Christ Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Charlie, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Calgery?
Yep.
Jimenez?
Here.
Moore? Here. Ben Zetton?
Yes.
First Day?
Here.
Walling?
Here.
Yates?
Here.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is community comments. This item is reserved to receive any comments from the community for concerns whether or not they are included on the current agenda. The community is encouraged to come and speak before the mayor and city council, asked to keep statements brief. Any questions that are to be asked of city staff, council members, of mayor, please do that prior to speaking to the full council, so that way we can address those concerns, research them, and get them perhaps answered away from the meeting. Comments are to be directed to the mayor and city council only, and so is there anyone who would care to speak at this time? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Item number 5 is the consent agenda. This is things that are routine in nature. The acceptance and minutes and reports from various meetings and commissions, approval of claims, and other routine things. Do you have a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes. Item D, I just don't understand what it is.
D as in dog?
Yes.
Okay, you're not alone. Can that be clarified quickly?
Ownership?
Yes.
Because they're a club like that, their ownership has changed, and whenever the ownership changes of any business, they are required to do a license update with an ownership change, and it does need to come to council. So their license is staying the same.
By licensing, their liquor license?
Their liquor license, sorry.
Yeah, but the
So it's
Eagles.
their liquor license, but just like if you have a business and you change who the ownership is, or the
Well, I'm just
percentages.
curious who
of
owns them now. I thought the Eagle, it's a
They do
fraternal
own it, but
organization.
what's changed is their president, vice president, their members.
Ah, thank
So in
you.
order to keep that updated, they have to do
I
this.
got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Ben Zetton?
Yes.
First Day?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Calgery?
Yes.
Jimenez?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item number 6, this is the announcement of various vacancies that we have on boards and commissions. First is the Building Code Board of Appeals. We have 2 vacancies to fill upon appointment to serve at the pleasure of the mayor. It's a 5-member board that meets as needed. Currently, we have 3 males and serving with 2 vacancies. Planning and Zoning Commission, we have 1 vacancy to fill upon appointment to complete an unexpired term that ends on April 30th of 2017. We also have 3 vacancies to fill to serve 5-year terms that begin on May 1st, 2014, ending on April 30th of 2019. This is a 7-member commission that typically meets the second Monday of the month as needed. Currently, we have 5 males and 1 female serving. And last is the Water Board. We have 1 vacancy to fill that serves a 6-year term beginning July 1 of 2014 and ending on June 30th of 2020. This is a 3-member board that typically meets the first Monday of the month after the 10th. 3 males currently serving. Okay, item number 7, back into our regular agenda. Considering a request from Miranda Cummings, engagement lead of Blue Zones project, giving a presentation regarding the Blue Zones launch. The explanation in our agenda is that the Blue Zones is a community well-being improvement initiative designed to make healthy choices easier through permanent changes to environment, policy, and social networks. Oskaloosa Blue Zones will be hosting a Blue Zone launch on Monday, April 14th at the Oskaloosa High School. Doors opening at 5 o'clock. Is Miranda here? Here we go. Would you please take the podium and...
Hello. My name is Miranda Cummings. I'm the engagement lead for Blue Zones Project Oskaloosa. I just wanted to first off just thank you guys for showing your original support when Blue Zones Project was first introduced to Oskaloosa. Without that original support, we wouldn't have had the chance as a team to be able to advocate for something that we truly believe in and help the community of Oskaloosa to create a change for a better well-being. And if you don't believe in it as much as we do, we hope to change your mind with that in the next 10 minutes. So I just wanted to start off and just kind of give you guys an idea of what the origin of the Blue Zones Project is. Blue Zones Project as a term might not be as familiar as National Geographic, so we'll start there. National Geographic had asked Dan Buettner, who is a National Geographic global explorer, to find the pockets of the world where people live the longest and have the healthiest and happiest lives. And Dan Buettner said, challenge accepted, let's go. So he traveled all around the world and he found these places, anywhere from Okinawa, Japan to right here in our nation in Loma Linda, California. And he found 5 areas where people have the highest rating of centenarians, these communities. And what that commonly means is people that live to be 100 years old. And not only were they living to be 100 years old, they were living to be 107 years old, 112 years old. And they weren't spending their last 3 years sick on a hospital bed, miserable. They were healthy, they were hiking, they were surfing, they were getting their own groceries at 108 years old. They got the opportunity to have 7 generations in one picture without Photoshop. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So he interviewed these people and he said, what's your secret? What's this potion? Where's your secret pill? What are you guys doing? And they said, there's no pill, there's no potion, and it's not even a secret. We'll give you the recipe to have a brighter well-being and a happier life full of purpose. And so with that, this developed into a New York Times bestseller. And Dan Buettner was suddenly known in several parts of the U.S. as somebody that was trying to bring the Blue Zones Project into communities in order to lead a happier and healthier lifestyle and affect people's inner and outer well-being. And so these 9 lifestyle behaviors that he calls the Power 9, but we'll just call them lifestyle principles. They can be organized into 4 categories. So the first category is move naturally. And what this means is, how awesome would it be if people utilize the amazing bike trail that Oskaloosa has worked so hard on for however many years? How awesome would it be if people could use that bike trail, the entire community, 90% of the community was using it to get to work, to get their groceries, and they were moving naturally rather than hopping in a car and taking a car 90% of the place that they were trying to go to. The other thing is to walk to school, to walk to work, and to walk to get your groceries. Fairway and Hy-Vee are centrally located, and people could easily do that. The next one is the right outlook, and this includes knowing your purpose. So how awesome would it be if people at our powerhouse employers and our small employers knew their purpose, knew their job and what they were doing within their workplace, and they felt good about it, and they weren't calling in sick, and they weren't trying to find a way to get out of work. They were happy when they were there. And how great would it be if the kids that are graduating from preschool to kindergarten, kindergarten to elementary school to middle school, high school, on to William Penn, and then into these workplaces, knew what their purpose was in life the entire time. And that's some of the things that Blue Zones Project wants to incorporate. The third one is eat wisely. The 80% rule is incorporated in this, and so is the plant slant. Now, I know the term plant scares people, but trust me, I like bacon just as much as the next person, and that's not what it's all about. But how awesome would it be to acknowledge the agricultural leaders of our city and provide more ways of bringing produce and distributing produce into our community? You know, the farm stands and local community gardens and that sort of sustainability lifestyle. The fourth one is belong. and that is to unite our community and provide newcomers with a sense of belonging. So people that first get a job here, people that are first, going to school here, going to William Penn, whatever it is that they're new to this community, how do we make them belong? Between our service organizations and our opportunities to volunteer, how can we make those better? And how can we make those more attractable to people that are outside of our community, not sure what Oskaloosa is all about? So these are all the different lifestyle changes that, are simple and are really easy, and some people are already practicing them in their day-to-day lives. But it won't matter unless we incorporate environmental change, and that's where you guys come in. And I'll let Valen, our organizational lead, explain more.
As you may all be aware, Governor Terry Branstad endorsed the Healthy State Initiative. This initiative helps support Iowans to live longer, healthier, happier lives. It's anticipated that this initiative will allow the state to redirect billions of dollars over the next several years to grow the state's economy. This is the nation's first comprehensive statewide well-being improvement program. It brings together individuals, communities, and businesses to create permanent changes to policies, environments, and social networks so the healthy choice becomes the easy choice. The Blue Zones Project enables community leaders to promote healthy lifestyle principles, creating a healthier environment for citizens to work, live, thrive, and play. This approach uses a community by community and business by business movement. Being healthier is never a bad thing. Our communities are comprised of people who of people who from stay-at-home moms to CEOs who are working to bring awareness to healthy choices. They will create the healthy choice as the easy choice so that people can live longer, better. It's about the power of choice and having that option to increase their overall well-being. We're not obligating businesses and restaurants and grocery stores to do this. They've actually signed up and wanted to do this. They've reached out to us. We're providing a menu of options and resources for them so that they can optimize their own environment. In order to earn this opportunity, we had to have enough community support from individuals, businesses, restaurants, and those grocery stores to demonstrate that we could do this. This is an amazing opportunity. It's a project that was attained by citizens and will be carried out by citizens. 84 Iowa communities submitted statements of interest. Only 54 had enough support to complete their applications, and only 10 were selected. We actually beat Pella. These people need your support to carry out the goal of making Oskaloosa a Blue Zone certified community. With your help, we can create policies that will last to sustain their efforts past certification. We may not be known for tulips, but by the end of this project, we'll be known for higher productivity, improved economic and social vitality. One of the many benefits this has to Oskaloosa is making it a more attractive destination for businesses and individuals. Thank you.
So as a community project manager, my job is to drive this project. I am so excited. If you look in the audience, we have so much support. And my team is excited. We have the energy behind us to do this work. There's millions of communities that would kill to have this opportunity that we have. Our community has demonstrated that we are ready for this. We're ready for this environmental well-being approach. We are ready to go into our schools, the places that we work, our community leaders. We are ready for this change. And I think sometimes the word change is scary, but positive change, environmental change is something as a community that we can be the forward leader in. What we do now will affect others 100 years from now. I heard Mayor Creutzfeldt say this, and it really has resonated with me. Isn't this why you've chosen to be on the council? Isn't this why, as individuals, we step up and we stand for something that we believe in? I look at the future of my 5-year-old daughter and I think, what kind of environment do I want her to thrive in? And this is the community I want her to do that in. I want her to be in Oskaloosa. I want her to go to college in Oskaloosa. Those are things that thrive me as an individual and as a parent. So when we look at this project, we are so thankful for Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield and Healthways for the partnership that they've offered to allow Blue Zones Project to come into our community. We are simply asking for your support. We are simply asking for you to join us in this movement. One of those ways of doing that is joining us at our walkability and our food policy workshop. You've received some personal invitations, and we definitely want to provide an opportunity to answer questions. We're looking at key stakeholders in our community that have a voice, that want to stand for that, and we're looking at you to come to those workshops and listen to what national experts are coming to our community and proposing a vision for. When we look at these individuals here and we look at you as key leaders and policy makers, we provide the vision for our community, and we want to help drive that vision. We also have a community kickoff event, which Mayor Creutzfeldt had mentioned earlier. It's an opportunity for us as a community to get everyone excited, to inspire, to show some tools and resources that Blue Zones Project is going to bring into the community. We have the schools on board and the work that they plan to do. We have grocery stores already doing action items in the store, and our restaurants are just chomping at the bit and ready to make some changes. And we're so excited and grateful for the work that the Mahaska Wellness Coalition has done, as well as some of the key stakeholders in our community to bring this in place. So I'd like to end with saying that we had an opportunity to have a video from Orange County Elementary Principal Terry Trask, and it demonstrates just how impactful we can be in improving the well-being of Oskaloosa, one community, one business, and one lifestyle at a time. So please enjoy the video.
When you ask me the question about why it's important, I don't really think it's important. I think it's imperative. I think we have a huge responsibility. We think it is an honor and a privilege to be a part of showing students how to live longer, healthier, happier lives.
I haven't drank a full pop since August, and I don't watch very much TV anymore. I usually I'll read or I'll go outside. We do a lot of movement like jumping jacks, push-ups, sit-ups.
I think a Blue Zone school sets the tone for a lifetime of good health choices and habits. There's so much power in choice for every one of us. We just have to be aware. And awareness is the first step.
Well, I think it's fun because we're moving around a lot more. And do jumping jacks, stretches, sometimes push-ups. It just makes me feel more energetic.
Boys and girls, how do we come to school every day?
It's never a bad thing to be healthy because you're more active and it's a lot more fun.
We can work on being a good me because good me's make good we's and make a really powerful us. These are the people that are going to be taking care of us someday. And I cannot think of a more powerful movement or a way to transform America than the Blue Zones Project. We don't need to teach them how to live in the world as it's given to them. We need to teach them how to change the world starting with themselves. So, yeah, that's what we need to do. And it's just one of the reasons you do what you do. It just is. It just is.
I apologize for the tearjerker at the end. We should have brought Kleenexes, Natalie. That was one thing we forgot. So to wrap this up, this is something that our community wants here. This is something that our community leaders have shown a lot of time and dedication to bringing into this community, and you guys are really important parts of our community, and so we hope that you guys are on board. We hope that these last 10 minutes gave you a little bit more of an insight on what exactly Blue Zones Project is about, and this project is only 18 months long, but we want the changes and the effects to last a lifetime.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miranda.
Do you guys have any questions for us?
That was
Thanks.
a question.
It's a scary thought of me water skiing in 30 years at the age of 103, but why not?
Hey, there's a 107-year-old surfer in Loma Linda, California. We watched this. It was amazing.
I do have a couple of concerns on this project in general. you've got some pretty big standards here. Have all those standards been met as far as, the 20% of citizens, 25% of public schools, all of that? Has it already been met?
It's something that's a part of the Blue Zones project. We're working towards to meet those percentages over the course of this next year.
And the calls that I've taken so far is, are you guys going to start regulating companies and businesses to do certain things? I got a call that said, I've got to put a burger on the menu now that's not going to sell. So if I want to be part of the Blue Zone project, are we going to start changing what they put on the menu?
I think the beautiful thing, and this is something that Valen mentioned about Blue Zones project, is that we're not telling anybody what to do. This isn't about telling somebody to hop on a treadmill for 30 minutes or that they have to become a vegetarian. This is providing people with an alternative menu of options. So the way that these percentages are met is by earning a certain amount of points, and from a checklist that we provide. We provide a lot of resources in order to complete those checklists. And if some things aren't fit for a certain workplace or restaurant, then there are other things that they could focus in on.
I guess the question that I keep hearing is you guys talk about the power of change, but you also talk about changing policy as well. So that's the part that I worry is when you talk to us, I worry that you're going to at some point come back to us and say, hey, you know what, we want to make sure that we're going to require people put 100 calories on the menu or something to that effect that's going to change the business model for something that people don't want. And I want to make sure that the businesses in this town know they get to choose. I don't want to force my lifestyle on anybody. I get that. I'm a runner. I work out all the time. I like that. That's good for me. But I sure don't want to do it to the business uptown that may not cater to that. So I think there's a lot of concerns right now about Blue Zone coming in saying, hey, we're getting railroaded here, and we don't want to be a part of this. What can we do?
Definitely. I think part of our model going in is we did talk to about probably 25, 30 businesses, and we got 20 that looked at that sheet of pledge actions and said that is something we can do. Out of those 20, we only have to get 10. We've been working with them. A lot of the businesses are really close already to those point percentages. The beauty of this project is we're the third wave, so we already have two other waves of communities that have done this. As for the restaurants, we work with them. We're actually updating the restaurant pledge. We went back. I'm part of this case study for this, and they said these are hard for the restaurants to get, and we're actually revamping the pledge so that they can. There's actually had the smallest number of points to get. We're adding points so that they have the option to do a few different things instead of adding burgers, because if you're not a burger joint, or you are a burger joint and you don't want to put other things on there, we're working with you to do some other things.
So it has been a problem then to get some of these.
It's been a problem, but the state team has recognized it and they're working with them to work out other ways. There's different ways to be healthy than just eating.
What type of marketing plan is going to go into Blue Zones as far as, are you going to have a marketing plan of being a part of Blue Zones? Here's what I'm worried about is when we have restaurants that come in here and they're going to open up and they're going to do this type of stuff, are we going to see any negative advertising come out of Blue Zones? Because when we start advertising Blue Zones, we start saying, hey, you know what? They didn't meet the standard. They have big, fat, greasy fries over there, right? Absolutely. So it all of a sudden, I know what you're trying to do, and everybody wants to get healthy. We get that. But we're such a small town that I don't want to negatively impact the people that choose not to be a part of this program, that choose the extra mayo, that choose, hey, I'm not going to run. I get it. That's fine. It's fine with me. Do what you want to do.
Absolutely.
But I want to make sure that power of free choice stays, but I don't want to regulate anybody in doing it. So really what I'm looking for you guys is I'm not going to hear at any point in time you're going to come back and say, hey, you know what? We're going to ask you to pass this type of policy so we can become a Blue Zone community.
For all of our sectors that are involved, when we look at restaurants, we look at community policy, school policy, it's a choice. So you have a menu of options that you get to choose from. So working with Michael and Dylan to kind of establish the starting point, working with our Power 9, which is kind of the buzzword that we use in Blue Zone lingo, but is a steering committee. So working with key individuals in the stakeholder to help us in seeing as a community what we would like to work on. When we're working with restaurants, providing a menu of options and saying some people need that nudge. They need that healthier choice, the easier choice, having an insert menu in what they already offer, but saying, okay, we would offer chicken breast with fresh fruit and vegetables. It's not saying you can't have French fries and mayonnaise. It's saying that for somebody that may have that be hard for them to make a healthier choice, they know that they need to do that, but it needs to be easier for them. Having an insert menu and saying, we do want to offer these things from a revenue standpoint, we can do these things and it's not going to cost us anything additional. We're just adding additional items for people to choose from.
And if those items sold now, they'd be on the menu. So that's the only, if it's choice between the owner and Blue Zone, I'm all for that. I really am. It's scary to me when I see this program start to roll out that I just don't want to be regulating choices. I don't want to force a business into doing something that it has to put on its menu that it isn't going to sell. And that's what bothers me about it. So that's all I'm...
Well, and maybe I can meet with you a little bit and I can actually show you those pledge items, but some of them are like taking salt off the table, not getting rid of it, but just taking it off the table because your first reaction is to take it and to shake it. And another one is just offering the caloric information for each meal, which Iowa State will actually do that for us. So a restaurant just has to submit that, and just so being able to offer that, not even on the menu, just being available.
And back to your original question with the marketing, we have a resource center, and so being accommodating to different sectors and providing that information that they need, looking at our well-being index or saying, we want to do this to our restaurant. We approached restaurants, we approached the schools, we've approached the different sectors, and they're saying, we want to partake in this. So, when we look at the different restaurants that we do have in the community, we have individuals step up and say, we're for this, we do want to take this on.
What do the schools have to do to be a part of this, and what choices the parents have inside of that child to be a part of that Blue Zone or not?
So just like the other sectors, they have a school policy pledge. So they look at the items, working with Russ to identify what items the school district would like to focus on. So our school system does a really great job already. When we look at the work that Julie Miller has done, the foods director, she's amazing. She's a huge asset to our school system. And so when we look at those pledge items and having fresh fruits and vegetables available, they already do that. There's a lot of action items that they're already doing.
Jason, I'm just going to interrupt to say that much of what they're doing was already required, mandated by the federal government, so we've already moved to them a
Somebody
few
knows
years
better
back.
than us.
What?
They know better than us.
Yeah, and a few years back already, Julie was emailing teachers about what kind of snacks we could offer in class and blah, 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 blah. So what she's already doing, she was ahead of this. And it wasn't because she wanted to, it was because she was required to by the federal government. So as a parent, when your kid goes off to school, they're going to get a school lunch that the federal government says has the correct amount of fat, vitamins, blah, blah, blah. And if your kid chooses to eat it, fine. If it chooses not to, you can pack a lunch and send it with your kid, however you want to do it. But the federal government has mandated that to get our money.
That to me is the problem with the whole system. And I just want to make sure that we're not going down that road.
Go vote.
Something else I'd like to bring up is, just to hit on this again, this isn't just about clean eating and exercising. That's the beauty of Blue Zone's project is there's so many other lifestyle principles that are involved with living a long, purposeful, and happy life. You talk about what's going on in the schools. It's not just about the fruits and veggies and whether or not they're exercising at recess. These kids need to know what their purpose is and whether they belong to the right tribe of friends. That's what we like to call it. But to have setting a good standard and to develop into the leaders that we want in our community when we are no longer able to be those leaders. I mean, that's a pretty huge part of it too, is the purpose and the belonging and the uniting as a community to make a change. And it's not just an exercise and eating change. So I understand your concerns, but there's more to it than that. And we want to have the opportunity to prove that.
Honestly, you're probably the best spokesperson that's ever walked through this door. You are fantastic. So you guys all did a great job, so thank you.
Well done. Thank you.
Mayor, just to outline the process, as Natalie mentioned, we've been working with the Blue Zone group and the staff, trying to outline the next steps to get the pledge sheet, the action items that would be before you. We're trying to lay out a timeline for that. And so what I'd propose is that we kick that to the planning committee, have that group act as the responsible people for council to give recommendations on the policy changes that might be coming forward for you to support. So that would happen within the next month or so.
Policy changes according to Blue Zone?
again, the criteria that needs to be met in order to score appropriately.
Do you have any concept of what those policy changes are?
I'd be happy to send them out again to all of you. Yeah,
You've already sent them?
yeah, when you as council adopted the resolution of support, that was part of the discussion as well as in that initial meeting that we held at the PAC Center. Was that about a year ago? I think it was.
But at the same time, we were still told just what we were just told again. The one that sticks in my mind is when we went to the original meeting out at Wayne Penn, several of us were in the government's regular part session, and they talked about like showers. And we said, okay, I don't think the city's going to put community showers in the square for people to ride their bikes to work. And they said the same answer. So you don't have to. It's just an idea, but you don't have to do it.
Yeah, that one is specific to municipal facilities to promote our employees to ride to work or walk to work. In any construction of a facility, you would basically install a shower. There's three parts to that. It wasn't just a shower. It was a nursing room and something else. I'm struggling. I know there were three parts to that one, but that was just one piece of it. It wasn't necessarily for the public to come in and shower. I think it was more dedicated towards our employees.
That one was specifically under active living policy, so it's number 9, which says, adopt building codes to require showers, changing facilities, and bike racks in municipal buildings. So, so this is the example of the community policy pledge. And like Michael said, we as a community have the opportunity to select which ones we want to focus on. A lot of these items, speaking with Michael and Dylan, are things that you are already working towards as a council. Again, it's providing us with a menu of options to say as a community, what can we do in our environment to make the healthier choice the easier choice? And we can certainly provide this to you and any additional documents that go with it to kind of outline the successes the other communities have had. Speaking with the community program manager in Mason City, she has had wonderful things to say about the environmental changes that the council has been able to do, and one of the items being the complete streets. And so I know that that's something that you've approached and are working on. So those would just be some examples.
Thank you very much. We'll move on. Item number B is to consider a request from Dawn Collins, Executive Director of the Mahaska County YMCA, reporting on the annual activities of the YMCA. Dawn?
Good evening. I believe you have in your packets, yes, I see a lot of orange, the YMCA report. Thank you for your time this evening to present this report to you. The report is also available on our website, mahaskaymca.org. The Y has long recognized a need for a holistic approach to health. Our mission is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body. The Y is a cause-driven organization strengthening the Mahaska community through youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Last year, we served over 3,400 members of our community, and our membership is distributed with about 40% being youth under the age of 18, about 30% adults, and 30% seniors. We provided swim lessons to almost 200 youth through our evening swim lesson program, about 60 youth through our preschool programs, and an additional 90 children swam in our swim team program. 235 volunteers donated or gave over 7,700 hours of volunteer service to the Y. They contribute their time and talents to our various sports and rec programs, our early learning programs, facility projects, leadership of the Y through various committees, and service on our board of directors. During the year, we conducted several surveys with our members, an overall membership survey, as well as some program surveys, and we found that our program improvements have not gone unnoticed. I was very pleased to learn that 70% of our Y members reported having developed friendships with other Y members. This is a tremendous value to being a part of the Y community. An overwhelming majority of members believe that the Y is an important resource in nurturing the the potential of our community youth, and they believe the Y is a community leader in promoting healthy habits. We also learned that members are increasingly dissatisfied with our aging facilities, and we are working to determine how to address that issue. This year, the Y introduced several new programs, including the free Healthy Lifestyle Coaching Program with funding support from United Way of Mahaska County. We also introduced Les Mills Body Pump, a nationally renowned strength training program. With Imagine the Possibilities as a partner and United Way support, we introduced an Adult Challenger League softball program, which is amazing, and I'll make sure that you know when we have games this summer, because it is an experience everybody should enjoy. And we also introduced several new programs directed towards middle school youth. Just one example is the Kiwanis Builders Club that we did in collaboration, obviously, with Kiwanis Clubs. The Y continues to be a strong partnership with the Oskaloosa Preschool Partnership, and we're supportive of the Blue Zones project, dedicating significant staff resources to the project. Both myself and Ryan Harkema, our Sports Fitness Aquatics Director, will be intimately involved with Blue Zones. And I'm excited to say that the Y has agreed to be a Blue Zones work site and have already started working on that. With summer just around the corner, I would like to end with exciting news about our summer day camp program. Summer day camp offers youth an opportunity for growth through outdoor activities and hands-on learning, supported by our core values of honesty, caring, respect, and responsibility. Our new youth coordinator, Kristen Getson, just relocated to Oskaloosa, and she brings significant camp experiences from the YMCA Flat Rock River Camp in Indiana. We're starting some more improvements to our Bruce Cedral Camp, which is at Lake Keoma. We have 10 acres out there, and we're going to have an exciting camp this year with canoeing, fishing, archery, swimming, team building activities, and more every day this summer. So we're really excited about that. So again, thank you for the time to just present some of our happenings at the Y. Do you have any questions for me?
It's not going to be a question, it's a comment, though. This Adult Challenger Softball League, the story in there, it just made me so proud of the humanity shown by our community.
Yes. If you haven't seen that, page 18 is David's story. And I've known David and Megan most of their lives, and they're wonderful people, and I'm blessed to know them. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you, Don. Well done. Item C, this is consider a request from Main Street Oskaloosa and the Oskaloosa Area Chamber and Development Group for approval of street closures for the 2014 chamber events. They are requesting approval of street closures for Friday After 5 events, Art on the Square, the Sweet Corn Serenade, and the Lighted Christmas Parade. The request for the street closures for the downtown tree lighting event on Friday, December 5th, 2014 will need to be placed on a future agenda when the details for the event are known better. So there's an attached request outlining the details for each event, and I will refrain from reading through them to the relief of everyone at the table. Do we have a motion for approval? Second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Persay?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Caligari?
Yes.
Jimenez?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Van Zetten?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item D, this is to consider appointments to the Oskaloosa Municipal Housing Agency. As I mentioned earlier, there are 2 vacancies on the Oskaloosa Municipal Housing Agency for unexpired terms. One for a term that ends on February 28th of 2015, and one for a term that ends on February 29th, 2016. The city has received applications from Matt Montavon, Linda Russell, and Robert Hubble. Appointments to the Municipal Housing Agency are made by the mayor with city council approval. The agency typically meets quarterly, and currently we have 1 male and 2 female serving. So at this time, I would recommend for appointment Matt Montavon and Linda Russell. We would have Matt for the term ending on February 29th, 2016, and Linda for the term ending on February 28th, 2015. Do you have a motion to support that?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Caligari?
Yes.
Jimenez?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Van Zetten?
Yes.
Persay?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item E. Consider a resolution authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the necessary documents for the purpose of retaining private mowing and trimming services for city facilities and property. In the interest of comparing city-provided services with those provided by the private sector, staff issued an RFP, a request for proposal, specifically for mowing and trimming services at select city facilities and properties. The city has requested sealed bids on a per-mow basis and held a bid opening on Friday, March 14th at 10 o'clock a.m. City staff has tabulated the bids and determined Four Seasons Yard Care Incorporated to be the lowest responsible bidder. The bid tab information is included with the council packet for further review. From a budget standpoint, the FY 2014 budget has a remaining balance of $11,951 in contractual services for the Parks Department. This amount would provide enough funding for 10 mowings this fiscal year versus the 8 that were planned just last year based on various contract amounts with Century Lawn for just the Edmondson and Vanderbilt parks. Fiscal year 2015 budget includes $33,750 for mowing. This was figured for 25 mowings using the current contract amount with Century Lawn. If the city plans on 25 mowings and Four Seasons Yard Care would be selected, the city could anticipate seeing a savings of $4,750 year over year and actually have all 5 park sites mowed instead of just the 2. So do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, there was a second down there.
Yes.
Okay, any discussion?
I have a question, just looking at the bids. I guess I understand the term responsive and responsible bidder. Are we comfortable they understood what they were bidding? There just seemed to be a fairly large separation there. Review through that, just make sure we know what we're getting.
Specifically asked him that question, and he said yes. We actually, out of all the bidders who submitted, the only one who showed up to the bid opening was the contractor from Four Seasons. And so we spent some time with him after the bids were open to talk about what we would expect and what he in turn could provide to us. So yeah, I'm comfortable with, he knows what he's getting into and expect things to go well.
Well, it is quite a difference on Vanderbilt anyway.
Oh,
Since it's on a per mow basis, then do they invoice every time they mow?
We do it on a monthly basis, I think is how we've asked it to be done, just because we pay once a month. It'll be something that our park staff will monitor, because last year there was probably a little bit more mowing than I would have liked to have seen.
I was going to say, who makes that determination? Yeah, who's mowing the dry grass or who's,
Right.
that?
That's what we're looking to avoid. I think just understanding philosophies with this particular contractor, I think I'm much more comfortable with the product that we should receive. At least that's the expectation he provided to Amy and I, and seemed to be pretty good. So I'm hoping for good things. I think he is as well, because he's looking to have a relationship with us, much like he does with the city of Pella. He was hoping actually to have had a bid for even more years than just a single year, because then his prices could have been even lower.
Is this the person that does the Pella Parks?
Yeah, they do a portion of them, yes. And then they do wastewater work for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Yates?
Yes.
Calgery?
Yes.
Jimenez?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Van Zetten?
Yes.
Versteg?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item F, considering a motion approving a pay request number 5 to DeLong Construction. It's in the amount of $15,622.74, and it's for work completed in the West Area Sanitary Sewer Improvements Project. The city has received pay request number 5 from DeLong, work completed through March 31st of 2014 on the West Area Sanitary Sewers Improvements Project. Staff reviewed the pay request, found it to be satisfactory for work completed on the project. Pay request 5 reflects work completed on the pumping station. It notes in here as well that progress payments per the contract in Iowa Code Chapter 573 need to be made for labor and materials incorporated into the work. That the progress payment or retained percentage will not relieve the contractor of any obligation to repair any defective work or materials. So city staff is recommending council approve the pay request number 5 for $15,622.74. Do you have a motion for approval?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Caliguri?
Yes.
Jimenez?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Van Zetten?
Yes.
Versteg?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item G is to consider a motion to approve and direct the mayor to execute a professional services agreement with the Garden and Associates for the 3rd Avenue East reconstruction and storm sewer replacement project, amount not to exceed $182,450. The city has approached Garden and Associates to complete the design work for the 3rd Avenue East reconstruction and storm sewer replacement project. The scope of this contract is primarily the design, bid, and construction inspection services. The scope of the construction project is reconstructing the pavement on 3rd Avenue East from Market Street to South 7th Street. The construction also includes stormwater improvements to 3rd Avenue East by replacing the existing storm sewer on South 1st Street. That's running from 3rd Avenue to 5th Avenue. And placing new storm sewer pipes on South 4th Street from 3rd Avenue to 5th Avenue and South 6th Street from 1st Avenue to 3rd Avenue. Garden is proposing a total contract not to exceed $182,450, broken apart by design and construction phase. And the budget includes an allocation of $178,500 for engineering services and $1,050,000 for the construction costs in fiscal year 2013-14 and also fiscal years 2014-15 for this project. Contract proposed by Garden and Associates exceeds the budgeted amounts and will require project savings to occur in other areas. A reduction in the scope of services provided, a reduction in the project scope, or an increase in allocated funds through a budget amendment during 2015. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Okay, discussion.
When would we anticipate the actual project starting if all this goes as planned?
It should be this summer, if I understand correctly.
Next fiscal year is the plan. The construction part is budgeted for next fiscal year. So anytime, depending on how the designs come up, anytime in June, July, August, so depending on how the bids come up. So.
Completion date?
Before winter. Whatever that means. It would be this calendar year.
Bob's back there, right?
Yeah.
Any problem from your side being ready with the design and everything to move on it after July 1?
I think it's pretty optimistic to think it's going to be done this year.
Why are you?
It's a $1 million project. There's a lot of underground work. Not included in this is a water main replacement. That's going to be part of that project. So,
who's designing it?
We are designing that for the water department.
So once from the street being available, if we tear it up this year, does that mean that the street's not usable all through the winter? Or?
Well, I think that's going to be a decision that's going to have to be made this fall, depending on how the construction goes and whether we want to tear into the streets. I think the goal would be to at least get all the underground work done this calendar year. And if the weather holds, maybe we get some paving done.
And wouldn't we have a public meeting like we held on C for the neighborhood public to come listen to what the disruptions are going to be, et cetera?
Yes. Yeah, that's the expectation with all the projects that we're undertaking, the major ones that have impact like that, yeah.
And you got the water board on board with this?
I have not had any conversations with the water department about this.
Bob?
They approved our contract for the design.
I had no idea who was even designing it, because the last I'd heard they were going to go out for an RFQ for the design services, and I don't know if that actually happened and you guys submitted.
It did not.
Okay. So.
Thanks, Bob.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Jimenez?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Van Zetten?
Yes.
Versteg?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Caliguri?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item H is consider the approval of the purchase of one 2014 John Deere Model 624K. It's a new front-end loader, buckets, and attachments, including a grapple rake and related equipment options from Murphy Tractor and Equipment Company, trading in our 1999 Daewoo existing front-end loader for a total cost for us of $194,761.20 going to the Public Works Department. The budget for 2014-15 includes an allocation of $195,000 for the purchase of a new front-end loader as part of the equipment replacement program. These equipment purchases have a lead time of about 90 to 120 days, and the proposed loader will be replacing the 99 Daewoo model Mega 250 III existing front-end loader to the city's fleet. The existing loader is used by the Public Works Department in year-round street repair and maintenance activities like chip sealing, snow removal, leaf removal, other daily duties that provide continued health, safety, and welfare services to the residents. The equipment's also used by wastewater and parks divisions. The decision to replace a vehicle or piece of equipment is based on a number of factors, including the repair costs, availability of repair parts, the overall physical condition, and obsolescence. The existing loader is experiencing considerable downtime and increased maintenance costs, and so due to the increased repair cost and loss of availability, replacement of the existing loader is being recommended. Staff recommends that the front-end loader be purchased pursuant to the bid received by the Iowa Department of Transportation multiple award contract as part of their equipment replacement program. It's not anticipated that Oskaloosa could receive a lower bid through a separate bid process. Staff recommends that the new front-end loader with the related equipment options and grapple rake be purchased from Murphy Tractor and Equipment for $194,761.20, and that includes the replacement value of the existing front-end loader of $12,850. Do you have a motion supporting that?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
About the language, when it says it's not anticipated that we can get a better, how do we know that? If you only get one bid, it's only one bid, so I don't know.
Again, the state goes through, it's off a state bid, which means that they've put those specifications out and multiple bidders have bid on it. And so essentially they've done all that legwork for us. So we're comfortable that we have received the lowest bid.
And it's that way on everything, anything that we purchase that way.
Through the state bid, if we, yes.
The state does multiple bids, like I could even do eggs if I wanted to.
Do we have that choice of using that state bid or by policy? Or I guess the only question is we have a local dealership. Can we even use them, or do they not have this type of equipment? Or are they just agricultural?
I don't know if the local company was approached.
No, the local company wasn't approached. I know we
You know where they offer the opportunity on the state bid, at least?
That would have been up to them.
That's up to them.
Well, were they a bidder?
You have to know how the system works, so you have to get online and you have to go through there. I'm telling you, I've done it a few times and a few things, and it's a big antiquated mess.
Okay.
It's not easy to do, I'll tell you that. But you have to do it and go through it. You know, if that's the system we use, that's the system we use.
I don't know if the local submitted or not.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you.
But you could ask them, right?
Yeah, we
They
could.
could give us the number.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and typically, I know with like the police vehicles, fire vehicles, we have in fact gone to local dealerships and asked them if they could match it, and it didn't happen in this particular instance, and I don't know if it was just an oversight on our part or what, but we certainly can do that.
Want to table it?
Could we do a motion that says that we would approach, the local John Deere dealer and say, here's the price we've got, can you match it? If they say no, then it would revert right over to Murphy. That's what I would prefer anyway. I assume that works.
You're going to make me re-say it, or can I just go with what he said?
I've got a little problem with that. Matching bids is easy. I think they should bid it. Of course, now it's public, but next time, I guess I'll say, if you're going to bid, they need to bid. Give us their number, and then we open them up and see. But you can't do this now because we're sitting here looking at the number, I realize, but that's my point.
Yeah, I'd like to always give our local companies a chance on something like this. I agree, it's hard to go back after the fact. Now, maybe they participate in the state, and that's already been done through that option, so we may be fine, but I would always like our local companies to have a shot at what we're doing at least. just like you talked about on the fire trucks and everything, if we could.
Police cars.
Police cars.
Okay. Who was the second?
I've got gymnasts and Calgary.
That's right.
Okay. So is that revised motion that I was talking about, does that work for you guys? Sure.
Well, the numbers are out here. I'm going
Yeah.
with Tom on that. The numbers are already out, so it's easy to match. If they're going to try to do that, then I don't know that.
And we have run into circumstances where they can't match it.
I don't- yeah.
We've been in, I don't know if it was Jake or if it was Mark, but we have had that happen before. But
Is there only one dealer here in town, or is there two?
there's one as far as I know. That would be a John Deere.
Right. That's spec one.
Yes, based on the specs.
Okay. So we do have agreement on the motion in the second, is that correct?
Yes.
Any other comments or questions?
So I want to be clear. So you are.
We would amend it so they can
You want to
at least look
amend
at
it to go to and see if the local John Deere dealer could match it. And
Right.
if not, then proceed with.
Right.
Yep.
That's correct.
Yep. Okay. No other comments?
I want to ask one more question, just so I learn. How did we pick John Deere?
We have a Daewoo. John Deere has a tendency, we approach other public work departments. What front-end loader, we have compared the horsepower and also taking a look at what the other public works department is doing. John Deere has a longer life when compared to other front-end loaders that we have looked at. So that was the reason why we picked John Deere.
Okay, Lisa, I'm more asking like, okay, I understand, you studied it and I believe that, but okay, how about Caterpillar? I mean, I don't know how we decide. I mean, it's so limited. Now, maybe if you tell me the state program looks at all the different brands too?
Yes, it does. What the state program does is it's called a multiple award contract, where it basically goes and tells, this is the percentage you can take off from Caterpillar, this is the percentage you can take off from John Deere. So basically, it tells you how much percentage the dealer will be taking off if they are giving it to the state or the county or the city. So depending on which brand you prefer.
So do you know, is Caterpillar higher or lower than John Deere?
No, we basically, no, we haven't. We have approached my street supervisor crew and also the public works department from other departments. We have compared and seen what works best for them. So no, I haven't approached Caterpillar. So.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Moore?
Yes.
Van Zetten?
Yes.
Versteeg?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Calgary?
Yes.
Jimenez?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item I, consider a resolution approving a 2080 agreement. It's between the City of Oskaloosa and the Forest Cemetery Association. During the budget work session for the fiscal year 2014 amended budget and the fiscal year 2015 proposed budget, the city was approached by Forest Cemetery Association with a request to provide financial assistance. The association requested financial assistance from the city to help offset day-to-day operational and maintenance costs with running the cemetery. The city's contribution was requested as a means to help keep the facility financially viable until a plan could be developed, which would alleviate the need for future financial contributions from the city or the need for the city to assume the entire operations of the Forest Cemetery. Following the discussions at the budget work session, the City Council directed staff to include $50,000 in the fiscal 2014 budget and $50,000 in the fiscal 2015 budget as a specific contribution to Forest Cemetery for the operational and maintenance costs. Forest Cemetery has also made a request to the city to include snow removal services to the facility as a means to lower their operating expenses. The 2080 agreement notes both of these contributions from the city as direct and indirect contributions. The 2080 agreement included in this item outlines the expectations of the parties involved and formalizes the relationship during this contribution period, fiscal year 2014 and 2015. A copy of the 2080 agreement as well as other required documentation is attached for the public to review in the packet. Do we have a motion for approval of this?
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Mike, you want, real quick, that 28E agreement, it's only for a year for that 100,000, right?
Yes.
It's not perpetual if we give them.
It's just for one fiscal year, which, well, it covers 2 fiscal years, but it's one contribution of $50,000 this fiscal year, $50,000 next fiscal year.
I gotta count pages. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get there. 6, 7, 8. I think it's the 9th page. At the bottom of the page under footnotes, it says, at the top of the page says Forest Cemetery Association Statement of Activities General Fund. There's a footnote down here that says, and as I understand, $100,000 in 2015.
Oh, yeah, right there it is. I circled that.
It says 50,000, as we know, we're splitting it because we're at the end of the fiscal year.
But then go right below it,
And the next comment goes with
which it then says it's just purely based on assumption. And
That's
they
my
were,
point.
Yeah, they were just doing that to run out projections for more than 1 year. This does not lock you into more than just the $100,000 contribution.
Could be 200.
Yeah, Tom, if you look to, the proposed 2080 agreement does have language in there.
Yeah, I see that. I'm just bringing it up. Thank you.
I know, so right off the bat.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Van Zetten?
Yes.
Versteg?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Callegeri?
Yes.
Jimenez?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item J, that's to just consider a resolution setting a date for a public hearing to confirm or deny a written order for removal of Water Board of Trustee, member Aaron Keltner. This item is reserved for the purpose of scheduling a public hearing on the matter of confirming or denying the mayor's written order for removal of Water Board Trustee Aaron Keltner. The date of the proposed hearing is April 21st, 2014, 6 o'clock p.m. in the City Council Chambers, 220 South Market Street, Oskaloosa, Iowa. Do we have a motion supporting that?
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Yes, I just have a question. I noticed back in item number 6, we had a water board vacancy.
Yes.
Can I assume this isn't the same person?
Yes, appropriately so.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
It is not.
Correct.
It's not. Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Any other questions or
And
comments?
the public hearing is at the request of Mr. Keltner, right?
That's correct as well. Roll call.
Versteg?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Callegeri?
Yes.
Jimenez?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Van Zetten?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item K, the report to discuss the 2014 cleanup program. Staff is prepared for a spring cleanup event for this year. The event will take place on April 28th, 29th, and 30th, and May 1st. The city being divided into 4 quadrants as follows. The southeast quadrant, which is south of A Avenue East and east of South Market Street, to be picked up on Monday, April 28th. The northeast quadrant, which is north of A Avenue East and east of North Market Street, will be picked up on Tuesday, April 29th. The northwest quadrant, which is north of A Avenue West and west of North Market Street, will be picked up on Wednesday, April 30th. And the southwest quadrant, south of A Avenue West and west of South Market Street, will be picked up on Thursday, May 1st. Residents will be required to put their items on the curb or edge of the property by 7 o'clock a.m. on the designated day for their quadrant. The event is open to Oskaloosa residents only, and business waste will not be accepted through this program. A notice to residents will be advertised and also placed on the city website. If the items are placed outside before the spring cleanup event time, then property owners and residents may be subject to nuisance and code violations. Do we have anything in addition to add to this?
No, Mayor, Council, it's just simply an opportunity for us to get word out there again. It could be the most popular thing that we do or don't do, depending on what the direction from council is. But again, just another opportunity for us to get the word out. And we want to encourage residents not to put things out now.
The bad news is they're already out.
Correct. And if it is,
they might disappear.
Yeah, possibly.
Before we start.
Well, yeah, a lot of them do have free signs hanging on.
Right.
Yeah. Lawn shopping. Okay, moving on. Item number 8, any reports? Items from city staff, city manager, anything?
Mayor and Council, the only thing I have is just I'm sure some of you have received this, but the Department of Transportation is holding a public information meeting on April 16th at the Oskaloosa Middle School from 5 to 7 p.m., and that's to discuss the Northwest Bypass project. Again, they're trying to move that project forward, or at least a study process, and this is another opportunity for the public to give comment or to ask questions of the DOT about the project.
What time again?
From 5 to 7.
Will it be the same format as the last one, Michael, where they're at different stations and you kind of rotate around? And
I don't know for sure. I think there's going to be a presentation. They have, with the latest letter that they're sending out to property owners, they've issued 3 concept locations for the route. So they're trying to be a little more specific to let property owners know where this could impact them. 2 of the alternate routes are north of the water plant, and 1 is south of the water plant. So this is going to impact the northwest side of town. People need to be aware of it, and this is an opportunity for them to hear more about it.
So with you saying that, then they do have one specific one that they like the most right now?
No,
They do not?
they're not at that point yet.
Is this just the bypass or the whole route?
This is just the bypass.
Okay, so there is no discussion then, so I understand the bypass going to the east side, but there's still discussion that the route might be the east side. Am I understanding that correctly?
The latest I've heard is they're not interested in going on the east side.
Okay, so that got dropped.
They're going to construct the northwest side, or at least study it, design it. The funding isn't programmed for construction yet. That's what we have to lobby the commission for. The DOT staff has said to us the Southeast Connector is a project that they want to take up. So that's good news for everybody, I think, involved. It means that it'll move forward. It keeps the local politics, they get handled by the state, which is beautiful, and they pay for it. So there's going to be a need for some financial contribution for that project. I would say all of these projects could have that opportunity. And I think that's something that's going to occur as the projects move forward through design and potentially through construction. So the DOT wants to get out of maintenance of roads that go through town, so that would be considered a potential contribution by the city and the county to the project. So there's more to come.
Yeah. Because we take over the road in town, you mean?
Yes. Okay. Which is something that we would want to discuss and negotiate with the DOT and look at quite closely before we agree to it.
Okay. That wouldn't involve 92, but just 63. Is that correct?
It depends. 23, 63, 92 was discussed, but I'm not interested in that.
I am not either, because that road's a mess.
Well, it's hard to justify it, but that's something that needs to be further reviewed.
If we took that over, are we able to set our own speed limit there? I only ask that because I see speed limits changing, and I want to know how the towns are actually pulling this off. Is that the trade-off there?
It becomes a local road, so you'd be under your
So then it comes back. So that's the loophole.
I don't know if it's a loophole, but obviously they're trying to use the best practices that they have to set those.
All right.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
City clerk, anything?
No, sir.
City attorney, anything?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. Item 9 is item for to receive reports from mayor and city council on various boards and commissions that they're on, updates on activities, events, or items that are of note to the public. This is also the opportunity for city council to request further future agenda items or request items to be sent to the committee for review or discussion. First one listed is the Mahaska County Conference Board. This is one that I sit on with the county assessor, and so there's not a whole lot of things going on there that are of a non-routine nature. And so we set the budget for the 2015 fiscal year. It's slightly less than what it was in the prior year, so we're pleased with that. And then also it involved adopting a new employee handbook as well. And so I expect the board will be voting on that shortly to approve that. But that's really about it. Emergency 911, that's Tom Walling.
If you noticed in your claims tonight, you saw one of the quarterly payments. It is expensive. It's important. Randy Fraser seems to do a very good job I know they only meet twice a year. At the board meeting, it was discussed, Dr. Dan Gleason is helping Randy look at some budget items. They're going to pay more overtime this year instead of hiring more people, but they're going to look at that real hard to see if that is the right thing to do, or they would need more employees. That's about it.
Okay. Enterprise Zone, Doug?
That group has not met, I believe, since the last update, so I don't really have anything. I guess the only other comment I'll make is with the Blue Zone group here tonight, I sure wish I'd brought water instead of this can of pop.
You don't have to drink the whole can.
Yeah.
Well, girl said she had.
I've been trying to drink slower, but it's still it's killing me.
Yeah, we noticed the pointing.
They said they wouldn't beat up on you.
I know, but boy, those stairs are hard to take, huh?
Stink eye. Joe Caligiuri, we got you for the Housing Trust Fund Committee.
Yeah, we haven't had a meeting for a couple months now. So, been a couple months. Something like that. Nothing new to report, actually, so.
Okay. Okay. Oskaloosa Area Chamber and Development Group, that's one that I sit on. The economic development efforts in Oskaloosa are kind of up in the air right now. With the hiring of the economic development director, all of the groups that are involved in economic development have now said, okay, now we have some organization that needs to take place. What do you say we all get together, agree we're in the same pie, and then start slicing out whose responsibility it is to do what? There's been, probably in the last couple of years, some question between groups as who's responsible for what, and when we get a lead on someone who's wanting to come to town, is that being handled properly? And it's going to generally people who have been doing yeoman's duty trying to respond to these inquiries. And so with the reorganization that's taking place, there's some very interesting times now where we have some very definite directions that we want to go and some agreements between the groups. And the Oskaloosa Chamber and Development Group is a big part of that. So stay tuned. There will be some neat changes, I think, coming in the near future.
Question.
Yeah.
Do I understand it right that they're getting some outside source help on that cutting up the pie, or am I hearing that wrong?
What we are getting is facilitators who are coming in to help us talk through the, coming to an agreement, not unlike a strategic planning meeting. We've been through those before where you kind of get everybody coordinated in agreement on what direction you're going to go and united. That's similar with this as well.
Okay, thank you.
You gonna use dots?
Yeah, I was going to say, without the dots or with
something
dots?
similar before.
Yeah, Mike's got a whole bunch in surplus that probably won't be used.
He probably can keep them.
Yeah, he can keep the dots right there.
That's exactly right.
Joint County, Nebraska Disaster Services and Economic Planning Administration, Aaron.
Yeah, we've been negotiating with the school to purchase the bus barn on G Avenue West, and I don't think we've came to an agreement yet, have we, Charlie?
What? Huh?
We're darn close.
We're getting closer, are we?
Yeah,
Okay.
We're working on that. We're darn close.
Okay.
We hope that that building is yours soon.
That's all we got on that one.
Okay. Joint Law Enforcement Center Board, that would be Aaron Versteeg.
Again, we really haven't met.
Okay. Mahaska County Agency on Aging, Aaron Versteeg.
Okay, we're working with Debbie Stevens to retire the existing mortgage. So we're going to be knocking on some doors, I think, pretty quick. I think we're in our final stage of this. We're going to ask each of the council members to donate $10,000 apiece. I've already declined.
Count me out.
Yeah, is this a payroll deduction plan that you're wanting to put together?
But we will be coming out to some doors before long. So
Okay.
that's all I got.
Okay. Last one, the Mahaska Community Recreation Foundation, Scotty Moore.
We meet on a fairly regular basis, and when we had our last meeting, we heard from all the entities that use our facilities, and Sherry then came and gave us all this look back book, so I went through that, so I think you all were apprised of that. It's a wonderful facility or service that we provide our community, and things are up and going again with soccer and various things being used out there. So I could go through the book, but we looked at it last time.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Item number 10. There's no item number 10. Okay. With that, then, do you have anything additional, Joe?
Nope, nothing.
Okay. Aaron? Scotty?
Nope.
Tom? Nothing. Okay, Doug?
No, sir.
Okay, Tom? Okay.
Good, as long as we don't get dots.
I have got nothing to add. We have a motion for adjournment.
Move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.